Have you ever been told that you belong to a certain generation, say baby boomer, Gen X, or millennial, but you really don't resonate with the description of that generation? Well, me too. According to the traditional approach to generations, I'd technically be classified as a baby boomer, right on the cusp of Gen X. But the usual description of how baby boomers are supposed to behave just doesn't fit me, and neither does the description of Gen X. And pretty much all the people I know around my age feel that same way too. This disconnect was one of the main reasons my colleagues and I started researching generations from a fresh perspective, unbiased by the traditional approaches. Now, unlike the traditional approaches that look at random periods of time and at past behavior to predict future behavior, we focused on shared experiences. To do this, we analyzed tens of thousands of pieces of historical data, things like major events, movies, music, commercials, and more, from the past century of American life. As groups of people grew up together, shared experiences created a distinct set of shared values. Those values allowed them to adapt and survive in the environment they were growing up in, and they continue to drive their behavior today. It's through this lens of shared values that we identified different birth year ranges for each of our generations and gave them names that we believe describes them better. We also identified two entirely new generations, my generation, which we call the Tecticians, and the most recent generation, which we call the Owls. So, through our approach, you'll probably discover that you're part of a generation that you've never even heard of before, and that its description and values make a lot more sense to you than the traditional one. You can find more details about our methodology below this video and in the free sample of our e-course. Understanding our generations, or as we call them, value populations, and their core values is the first step in making our edge your edge.